Yeah, I mean,
Like how and that just draws a question to how good is the world you think you live in, really, you know?
right. Yeah, you think everyone that's close to you is safe in this bubble, and then, one person falls. It's like, where could I have helped? Could I have done something? Could I have reached out?
Yeah, that's what like frustrates me about like COVID and like COVID deniers. Like you may think like this like 188,000 deaths or whatever is minuscule, and then but if somebody in your close circle dies, then it affects you differently. So like same thing. Like if you're denying that and then you get affected, then you you shouldn't be pretending like you should act any different because you'd be devastated.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, yeah, COVID was one of those weird things because for me, it took a while for me to actually hear of someone I knew who had it. I think it was like almost a month, and so, I don't know if you guys knew someone who had it right away, but for the first month, I was like, oh, no one I know has it. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. And then you hear that the person who had it is really sick and fighting for their lives. It's one of my mom's friends. I mean, he almost lost his life.
Oh,
It was a coin flip. That's what the doctor said. It was a coin flip
Wow.
whether he was going to live or not. He was in the ICU for I think 8 weeks, 9 weeks. And
Ventilator the whole nine?
yeah, man, it's amazing he's here. And it's a he's a big strong guy, he's successful, he's one of those guys that you think nothing's going to happen to this guy. This guy's invincible. And then, he almost loses his life and you have to step back and go, "Oh man, am I assessing this correctly? Am I ignorant? What's the problem here?" You know?
Check yourself. It's really what it is too. It's really realizing like you're human, your humanity, and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Especially when you see somebody close to you get it, as you were saying, it's so different, man. When you see it on TV, because we're so accustomed to that, we're so insensitized because there's so many people, right? There's so many people on planet Earth. Like we hear some crazy shit, people dying crazily, and we see like on the news somebody dies of a disease. We're like, oh, okay, well, it happens to the best of us. All right, well, tough. And then somebody close to you, somebody in your inner circle, like you get affected by it to a degree, and you really start to see the severity,
Mm.
and the need for a whole population to be shielded from that if possible.
Yeah, because you got to think like, if you have someone who's going through that, you have to assess it from the mindset that your neighbor is going through the same thing. You have to,
Exactly.
even if they're not. You have to have that mentality, because if you're not, then you're missing the big picture. And man, listen,
Can't be
I
selfish, man. This is not the time to be selfish.
this is not the time to be selfish. Not the time to be selfish.